Hi guys, Lori here. I'm back. So sorry for the extended absence. That was really not the plan, but I felt like I had not been reading a lot because of the show that I just put up. Willy Wonka, by the way, it was a complete and utter success. I am so proud of my kids. I know some of them watch these videos, so thank you guys. If you are watching this, you guys are the best cast and crew director could ask for. But now that the show is over and I have a lot more time on my hands, I am back to doing some reading vlogs. So, this next week is going to be a little bit crazy and chaotic. I am going to BEA. I am going to BookCon. I will definitely be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm trying to see if I can get to go Wednesday, but that I have to talk about with a couple of people before I make that choice. But I really got no reading done this month so far, and it is the 25th. I think I read 2 books this whole month, which is really unlike me. I've just been so caught up in my show that it really put a back burner on just about everything else that I've been doing. But I did wind up finishing Phantom Wheel by Tracy Debs, which is a science fiction novel about a group of kids trying to save the world from a digital apocalypse. I got that at BEA last year and I actually wound up really liking it. I would have given it 3 stars. There was a lot of characters in that book and I felt like you didn't really get to know them on an individual level. And then I wound up picking up Somewhere Only We Know by Maureen Gu, and I love this book. This book I'm flying through. I am on page 174 and it has about 300 pages. So hopefully I'll get to finish this tonight. I would love to. It's basically about this girl named Lucky, and she is a K-pop sensation. And that is one point of view. And then you meet Jack, who is an inspiring tabloid reporter, and they wind up crossing paths. And there is romance, hilarity, and just a fun night ensuing. So really, really enjoying it so far, and I hope to tackle more of it today. I did wind up losing my voice this week again, so I'm unsure how my voice will sound for you guys, but I'm definitely going to get back doing some Instagram stuff tonight and a blog post because I haven't posted on my blog in about 2 weeks, which again is super unlike me. But I'll definitely update more as I make more progress on this book, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Hey, Lori here. I'm back. I did actually read a lot more of Somewhere Only We Know. I'm now on page 235, and it's getting to the climax of the story. Jack and Lucky's story is getting super interesting, and I am not a K-pop fan. I just don't listen to that music, but all the girls in my theater cast do, so I've been learning a lot about it. So this book is definitely going to go to her when I'm done with it, but I'm actually really enjoying their romance. I think it's really, really fun. And I'm thinking it's just a really fun summer read. If you like music of any type or performer stories, I think that this is really interesting. And it also has lots of elements of self-discovery for both the boy and the girl. And I normally love books that have both dual point of views, and I'm really enjoying it. And I love books that deal with the arts in some capacity, and this book deals with the arts in a lot of different aspects, which I'm really, really enjoying. I really hope to finish this by tonight and move on. I was looking back on the stuff that I read this month, and I think I read a total of 3 books, which is so unlike me. So I feel a little bit bad about that. Honestly, I wish I would have read a little bit more or just been a little bit more focused. But that did not happen. So hopefully I can make some progress on this, pick up another audiobook, which I really need to do, and start figuring out next month for my reading. But yeah, I will definitely talk to you guys in a bit. Definitely if I finish this book, I will update you. It's Lori here. I'm back. I actually haven't filmed outside in a while, but it's a really beautiful day on here on Long Island, so I decided to film outside because I'm doing some work outside. For those that don't know, I'm going to BEA and BookCon this week, so I'm trying to prep as much stuff for my students as I can. But I also have been doing a lot of reading. Oh boy, does it feel good to read again. Oh, I feel like I have been doing nothing but my show and focusing only on that. And as much as I love theater, it's nice to have a break and go back to something that I love to do, which is reading. I love theater as well. But putting up a show is sometimes very, very stressful, but super rewarding. And the kids were awesome and they had so much fun. And hopefully next year we'll get to do another show and it will be just as incredible. But boy, is it nice to be reading again because I miss it. I also went to yoga today, which was so nice. It's just a beautiful day on Long Island. So I actually got a lot of reading done last night, and I did want to finishing Somewhere Only We Know by Maureen Gu. I really love this book. I definitely gave this book 4.5, 5 stars. I thought it was such a fun read. perfect summer read. It basically follows Lucky and this guy named Jack, and they wind up making a misconnection. They wind up spending like 2 whole days together. Lucky is a K-pop star, and Jack is an inspiring tabloid reporter. And it was just so fun. There were so many elements of self-discovery in it that I normally love. I don't know much about K-pop. I think I've said this before, but the girls in my cast have like a love of this band called oh, what the hell's the name of it? It's now I can't think of the name. I know that there's a store in Times Square because I went and I got her a gift out of it, but I can't think of the name of the band. But they really, really love it. So I think that if you like K-pop, you'll really like it. It was just a fun read. I love books about celebrities and how they become down to earth. I love books about self-discovery. This cover is so pretty. The back of this cover is gorgeous. I bought this book and I'm so happy that I did. Definitely one of my favorite reads of the month by far. I haven't read a lot this month, but this definitely made the top of that list. And then late last night, I started Hot Dog Girl by Jennifer Dugan, which I'm really, really enjoying. It's just a really, really fun read with a lot of diversity in it. Basically follows this girl named Eloise. And it's the summer before her senior year. She's working at this carnival where they're going to close at the end of the year. So she's dealing with a lot of issues. She's also dealing with a lot of romantic entanglements. I just love the cast of characters. I love the setting and I love the family dynamics. It's a really interesting read, a lot of diversity that I wasn't expecting, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm on page 270 and I have to get up to page like 302. I'll definitely finish this today and I'll definitely check back in when I'm done with it. But yeah, definitely a really, really just a perfect summer read. Both these books are perfect summer reads. This I'm definitely liking a little bit more, but I would definitely recommend these if you're looking for some summer reads to put onto your TBR. It's Lori here. I'm back. It is Monday. It is Memorial Day, and we have off here. And it's also my last really full day that I'm off, and then tomorrow I go to work, and then I go to BEA. So it's like a very, very crazy week. But I did wind up finishing Hot Dog Girl by Jennifer Dugan. I did wind up doing a review about this in my wrap up, but I did like it. I don't think I loved it. I really loved the idea of it. I thought the concept was really, really cool. I love the diversity, but I definitely had to grow about on the main character. I think she was like, you had to grow to like her. But I did like the diversity in it, and I did like the setting. And I thought it was just a fun read. It just wasn't my favorite read. But I did read through it in about a day. I really, really blew through it, which for me has been struggling recently. I think that was basically the problem that happened this month. I was not reading like fantasy books. I mean, I was reading fantasy and I wasn't reading contemporary, which is what I should have been reading. Um, but I wound up giving this book like 3.5, 4 stars. It was cute. If you're looking for kind of a fun summer read with like a fun setting set at a carnival, I would recommend it. It has a lot of diversity, a lot of romantic diversity, which I thought was really fun. And yeah, it was just a fun read. This book didn't end the way I thought it was gonna end, but I still really enjoyed it. Then earlier in the month, I wound up picking up Storm Runner by J.C. Cervantes, which is the second Rick Riordan imprints books. And then I picked it back up, so I'm now on page 252, and I'm really enjoying it. These books are very formulaic, like you basically know what the plot's gonna be, but I'm just loving it. I'm loving the main character of Zane. I'm loving the world. I'm loving how these books always somehow have a trio of characters. I love that trope. That's a trope I've loved since Harry Potter. But yeah, I'm about 242 pages in, and I really hope to finish this book before I go to BEA, so that's why I have like about a day to finish it. But yeah, that's my plan right now. If I do make any more serious progress, I will definitely update you guys before I go to bed. And I'll definitely wind up updating you guys tomorrow. But I'll see you guys tomorrow for another update. Bye. Guys, I'm back. I am officially back from BEA and BookCon, and I have organized all my books. I rearranged all my shelves, and I finished a book. So I wanted to come out here and update you guys. I am going to get my budding gear this week and start like actually posting stuff again. Other than just wrap-up photos and stuff like that. For those on my Instagram, I'm so sorry for the lack of post. I do feel bad about that. But my blog is back up doing that. I have to get the group back up next week. But I did want to finishing my first read of BEA, and that is Race to the Sun by Rebecca Rowanhouse. And this is like the 4th book in the Riordan Presents series. And this was about a Navajo girl who discovers she's a monster slayer. I read this throughout the entire convention, and I just finished it yesterday. but I really liked it. I love that the lead was a female. I know that the first one, Arusha, was also about a female, but the last couple ones that I read were all about guys. So it was nice to have a girl in the forefront again. I just thought it was a really fast-paced story. I love the myths. I love how she used the Riordan, like the traditional way that he really crafted his story, but gave it its own edge. I love the trio of characters that we had. And I just really liked it. I thought it was a very, very fascinating read. I love the myth and the quest elements. I love how there's always a poem that you try to figure out the meanings behind it. I really liked it. I gave it like 4 stars. This does not come out until October. So I will do it in my wrap up, but then I'll talk about it closer to it when it comes out. I'll probably do like a non-spoiler review back in like just September. But overall, I really liked it. Then directly after that, I wound up picking up another book. And again, this book doesn't come out till November, but I was just intrigued by it. And it's called Shadow Scent from Scholastic by P.M. Firestone. Right now, I'm only like 14 pages in, and I'm just met the second character. So I'm really excited to dive into this. I know it's about a girl who can make fragrances, and Ash, he's an imperial bodyguard, and I think something happens to the king that they're accused of, and then they have to go on an adventure to try to save his life. So that's all I know. That's all in the back. I haven't got that far in the book yet. It doesn't seem it's that long, but I'm really enjoying it so far. So if I make any more progress, I will definitely update you guys before I go to bed. And if not, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hey guys, Lori here. I'm not sure the last day that I updated. I feel like it was Monday night. I know I had just finished, maybe Tuesday night. I'm not sure what night I updated. I know that I had just finished Race to the Sun, and I had started Shadow Scent. I wound up putting down Shadow Scent because it just wasn't capturing my attention, and I really wanted a book that could capture my attention. So I'm putting that book down, and hopefully I'll be able to pick it up later, and hopefully I'll really like it. And I wound up picking up Always Never Yours by Emma Webberly and Austin Segman-Broca. This past week at school has been so weird. Monday, I just got back from BEA. Tuesday, we had a day off. Wednesday, we had rehearsals and stuff. Thursday, we were off. And Friday, we had a day full of rehearsals. But I actually got a lot of reading done. I did wind up finishing this book, Always Never Yours. This is the first book in their series, or like a companion series. I think they're all kind of based around like Shakespearean stories. This one was Romeo and Juliet. I actually really liked it. I wound up giving this book like 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. But it basically follows this girl named Megan, and she's a senior, and she is trying to go to school to be a director. And the program that she wants to be in as a director, you have to have a part, or have to have like something on your thing that you acted in. So she winds up thinking she's going out for like a smaller part, and she winds up getting the lead as Juliet. She's a kind of a curse in her life. Whenever she breaks up with someone, that person always finds their happily ever after. So she's always like the girl before. She's always like the Rosalind. And it just was so interesting. It was a very, very sex-positive novel, I'll say that. I've been reading a lot of those recently. Jen Bennett does that really, really well too. But this book definitely was very, very sex-positive, and I really enjoyed it. I loved how it used the theater club as like a backdrop, and I just was really impressed with it. I thought that their writing style was really, really captivating, very, very realistic, and I really liked Megan's character. Megan's character wasn't a typical heroine, but you didn't hate her, and I really liked that. I really, really enjoyed it. And I wound up reading a couple of more contemporaries because there's a girl that really loves them in my cast that loves them a lot. So if I can give them to her, I will feel like a good teacher. And then last night, I wound up picking up The Distance Between Us by Casey West. If I finish this, I will have finished all of Casey West's contemporary novels that are currently out. I still need to read Split Second, but currently I'm really enjoying it. Basically, it follows this girl named Cayman, like the Cayman Islands. And she works in this doll shop, and it's surrounded by all these rich people, and she wounds up encountering this guy named Xander Spence, who's a rich guy. Sounds like a really typical story, but it's actually really, really good. I know this is one of my friend Tiffany's like favorite books by this author, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm on page 197, and I really hope to tackle the rest of this tonight. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And I'll definitely give you guys more of my updates as I finish it. But right now, this is a solid 4-star read for me. Hey guys, Lori here. I'm back outside because we're actually having a nice weather day. I did wind up finishing The Distance Between Us by Casey West, which is one of the last Casey West books that I have to read that is currently out. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought that this book dealt with some harder issues like class issues and rich versus poor issues. I really liked it. I really loved the main character of Xander. I really loved Cayman. I thought her family dynamics were really interesting. I wish the side characters had been like a little bit more developed, like her best friend, because in all of other Casey West novels, I always feel really connected to her best friends. This character wasn't that fleshed out, but I really did like it. I thought the setting was really, really fun. I thought the relationship was super cute. I thought the ending was like a little bit rushed, which I always say about contemporaries. But yeah, I really liked it. I thought the family dynamics of this novel were really, really interesting. But yeah, it was a super fun read, and if you've not checked out it, I would highly recommend it. The next book that I wound up picking up was Dragon Pearl by Yoon Ha Lee. And this was a book that I got last year at BEA, and I've been trying to read all of the Rick Riordan Present series in chronological order. So this is the next one that I wound up picking up. And this book has to do with Korean mythology. I was a big Teen Wolf fan many, many years ago. Well, not many, many years ago, but I was a big Teen Wolf fan, and they had kitsunes in their show, and I loved it. Their show is much darker, but this is basically like a space adventure following this girl named Min. Her brother winds up getting a job as a member of like the Space Force, but winds up going missing, and she winds up going to try to save him, and winds up basically taking someone's place on the Space Force. So I'm only about 118 pages in, but I'm really flying through it. I'm really enjoying it, so hopefully I make some more progress today, and I'll definitely update you guys later with my full thoughts. Hi guys, Lori here. I'm back. I actually did make some more progress on Dragon Pearl. I'm now on page 153, so I'm exactly halfway through this book. I'm really loving it. I'm loving the space adventure. I'm loving the elements of Korean mythology that's being hit, and I just love the space elements of this novel. I really love the female lead in this as well. I think she's really interesting, and I'm just loving the setting of it, and I'm also enjoying the different creatures that we're experiencing. Like, we're learning about ghosts. That's really, really fun. And I'm just loving the trio of characters. I think that that's a very big hallmark of these books, that there's always a trio of characters that you're following, and I'm really impressed. It's a little bit formulaic, I'll say that. Like, it's a little bit predictable. So definitely right now it's like a 3.5-star read, but I am flying through it. And it's definitely, the adventure story is definitely capturing my attention. So I'll definitely update you guys a little bit more before I go to bed probably. If not, I'll definitely update you guys tomorrow, but I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Hi guys, Lori here. Sorry, my voice keeps going in and out. That's just how teaching is. But it's a little bit later. It's like 9:40 on Monday night. I just wanted to check in and tell you guys that I did wind up finishing the Dragon Pearl by Yoon Ha Lee. Um, this was the Korean-inspired Rick Riordan Presents novel. I actually really liked it. I don't think it was my favorite Rick Riordan Presents novel, but I did like the space adventure. I thought that was super interesting. I love that there was a female main character. I thought the plot was interesting. The world building was a little bit on the weaker side, and the pacing was a little bit off. So I only wound up giving this book like 3 stars. But I do love the mythology. I thought that was really, really interesting. And I do have a lot of experience with kitsunes and boxes and stuff like that, or those myths. So seeing them in a YA novel a middle grade novel was actually super well crafted. I'll be curious to see if this book gets a book 2, because it did keep itself open for a book 2. But yeah, I wound up giving this book 3 stars. I literally just finished it. And now I'm going to, on my way to complete all of the Rick Riordan books, I'm going to read 9 from the Worlds by Rick Riordan, which is a series of short stories from the Magnus Chase series. I do have kind of a weird week this week because I have a lot of days that I'm staying really, really late. Not tomorrow, actually. But the rest of the week I'm staying rather late. It's the end of school and we have a lot of like commitments. So I'm going to try to make some more progress on this book tomorrow. And then I'm going to hand this one over to the kids and see who wants it. But yeah, I actually did like it. I didn't love it, but that's okay. And then I don't know what I'm going to read next. I am also, next book on my docket is Sal and Gabby Break the Universe by Carlos Hernandez. I got this at Comic-Con last year, and I just never got around to reading it. This book, I think, is the one that's signed to me. But if I love it, I'll probably wind up keeping it. If not, I'll probably wind up giving it to the kids. But yeah, that's my thoughts for now. I'll definitely update you guys tomorrow, though. Bye. Hey guys, Lori here. I'm back. This week actually was a little bit more crazy than I had anticipated. We had a bunch of days this week that I stayed after. I think I stayed after like every day this week, which was like crazy. But the school year is winding down. I did wind up finishing The Dragon Pearl by Yoon Hee Lee, which was the Korean inspired mythology book. I actually really liked it. I thought the pacing was a little bit weird at points. And I don't think it's going to be a sequel. But I actually did like it. I also did 9 Stories from the World, which was the Magnus Chase short story collection. I wound up giving that one 3 stars. I wound up passing on to one of the kids that I work with as well. But I thought it was really, really cute. Those short stories normally are super easy to read. But this one was kind of funny because it followed a different character for each story. And they were just like kind of like one-shot stories. And then Thor was kind of like the connecting influence and all those. But I really liked it. And then this morning, I just finished reading Sal and Gabby Break the Universe by Carlos Hernandez. This one was probably my favorite imprint book that I've read recently. But I really did like it. It was a science fiction adventure about multiple universes, and it's about this girl named Sal and Gabby. Sal was the main character in this, but it's I just like the back. I think the back sums it up. A brilliant sci-fi romp with Cuban influences that poses the question: what would you do if you had the power to reach through time and space and retrieve anything you wanted, including your mother, who is no longer living in this universe anyway? This book was super interesting. I thought the ending was like a little bit rushed. But the one thing I really did like about this book is it explained like multiple universes in a really like easy way for kids. I thought it was definitely on the longer side, and I thought the ending was a little bit rushed. So probably give this one like a 4-star read, but I'm really excited to read Gal, and I think it's called Sal and Gabby Fix the Universe, and that's coming in 2020, which I'll definitely be picking up. But I really love the diversity in all these reads. That's the one thing I love about the Ride and Imprint novels is like, I love how all these authors are having opportunities to tell their own stories. I think it's so powerful, and I'm really enjoying it. And then I just wound up picking up The Other Side of Lost by Jessie Kirby, and it's about this girl named Mari, and she is a self-confessed Instagram influencer. But her cousin has passed away, and she's kind of thinks her world is kind of fake. And she makes a post that basically destroys her career, basically. And that's kind of where I'm at. I know it has something to do with hiking, and it is summer here, so hopefully I like it. My voice is kind of going to be shot until the end of the school year, I think, but that's okay. But I do have a lot of time for reading, which is super nice. So I'm going to get back to reading, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Hi guys, Lori here. I'm checking back in. I just wanted to give you guys a small update on The Other Side of Lost by Jessie Kirby. I'm now on page 88. I normally read contemporary books rather quick, but this book is actually super interesting. If you guys have heard of the story Wild and the movie Wild, this is kind of like the YA version of it. But it's basically that, and she's kind of going to go on a hike that her cousin was going to hike before she unexpectedly passed away in a hiking related accident. And her cousin were not very, very close after they're birthday twins. So they share the same birthday. They were born on the same exact day. But as their lives kind of went on, they kind of grew further apart. And her cousin passed away a couple of months ago. And her goal for her 18th birthday was that she was going to go hike this trail. And now Mari is trying to follow in her footsteps. This book deals with a lot of like issues about pop culture, like being an Instagram starlet, living a fake life, and then it also deals with grief. But I'm 88 pages in and I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, I'm curious to see if this book has any romantic elements. But right now it doesn't, and I'm actually okay with that. But I'm curious to see if there is a romance that develops in it. I'll be sure to keep you guys posted. Hi guys, Lori here. I'm back. I did actually wind up finishing The Other Side of Lost by Jessie Kirby. I actually thought this was like such a fun contemporary novel. Those that have been following me for a really long time know that I really love self-discovery novels. I think that they're so interesting and compelling, and I really love books that have like a hint or an element of that because I think kids at this age really are searching for stuff, especially like in middle school and high school. So I really love books that deal with that. This book was actually really well crafted. I love how this book focused more on that and the friendship element than the romance element. There were hints of romantics. I always like contemporaries that have like an ending and you see the impact of the actions on the future. This did not really do that, but that was okay. I really did like the concept of it. I thought that the her hiking as a non-hiking person was super interesting. I love the friendship. I love the dealings of grief, and I love the social media elements of this book, like the impact that it has on kids. Because I don't think kids really look at that side of it very often. But I really enjoyed it. I wound up giving it 4 stars, and I would definitely read more by Jessie Kirby in the future. The next book that I wound up picking up was a really, really fast read. I'm actually going to reread it. Well, I'm going to read it a second time before I'm done because I always read graphic novels really, really fast. But this is In Real Life by Cory Doctorow and Jen Wang. I loved Jen Wang's first novel, The Prince and the Dressmaker. I love it. And the art style is just stunning and gorgeous. Can we just admire this? It's so pretty. Um, but this book is a little bit different. This book is about a girl named Ada, and she winds up getting recruited to join a girl gaming society. And it kind of takes off from there. There is elements of romance in it. It's not a pure romance. So if you're looking for another Prince and His Dressmaker, this is not the book I would recommend you pick up. But I actually really liked it. It has an opening note that deals with economics and politics, which I think is really interesting. The art style is really interesting, and I just love the story. If you're a girl game, I think that you'd really like this. I'm definitely gonna finish my double read of this. I'll go for a small walk, and I'll probably tackle it out. But normally when I read graphic novels and they're like shorter like this, I tend to read them back to back because I feel like the story needs to be read twice. I don't know what I'm gonna read next, but once I'm done with this, I'll definitely give you guys a more solid update. This is the week that's just a little bit hard because I've been reading so many books for so many of the kids that I work with. All of my seniors are graduating this week. So I've been trying to read as many books as I can for them so I can give it to them before they leave. But that's kind of dying down. Tomorrow's like the last day I'll see most of my play seniors at least. So after they leave, I kind of can read whatever I want, but I've been reading a lot more contemporaries earlier in the year just because one of my kids really likes contemporary books. So I really don't know what I'm going to read next. I might try to knock out a few more contemporaries for the summer before my rest of my kids leave next week. But I'm still a little bit unsure. But right now, I'm going to tackle the end of this, and then I'm going to do some shopping. It's prom tomorrow for my seniors, and I'm going to be chaperoning, and I don't really have a dress that I'm really in love with, so I'm going to go shopping for a dress with my cousin. That's the plan right now, and I'll be sure to update you guys when I choose my next read. Bye. Hey, it's Lori here. I'm back. It is now Tuesday. Sorry I didn't update. The last couple of days have been a little bit crazy. Monday was prom, which meant I worked all day and went to prom until really late. Prom was really, really fun. I was so happy to see the kids actually not in their school uniforms and just having fun. That was awesome. Today we were supposed to go on the senior trip to Rye Playland in upstate New York. It was a total washout, so they actually canceled it. So the kids didn't get to go. I didn't get 3 hours of reading on the bus, which was really, really upsetting. But it has been rescheduled, so we are going to go next week, which means I will actually see my seniors one more time before they graduate, which is awesome. Their last day of school is tomorrow. They graduate Thursday, and the trip is on Tuesday. So I did make some progress on That Night by Amy Giles. I actually don't think I ever told you guys a summary of this book. I thought I did, but I don't think I did. It basically follows these two kids, Jess and Lucas, and they are dealing. It actually takes place in Queens, which ironically is where I work. Sorry about the phone stuff. I apologize. I work in Queens. But this is about the aftermath of a shooting in a movie theater. And Jess lost her brother, and Lucas lost his brother, and they wound up working together and dealing with like a club that no one wants to be a part of, basically. But I'm really enjoying it. I'm about 116 pages in. It's definitely a harder and emotional read. And normally books like this tend to focus on like school shootings, so I've never read a book about like a public shooting. Um, thank God. But this book is actually really interesting and compelling, and I hope to read a little bit more, if not tackle the rest of it tonight. But when I get a little bit farther, or if I finish this, I will definitely update you guys and let you guys know what I'm going to read next. Hey guys, Lori here. I'm back. Today was the official last day of school for the seniors or the eighth graders in my school. But it's kind of a little bit of a tease because they graduate tomorrow, and then Tuesday is their senior trip. So it's technically the last day of school for them, but they can still technically go to school until Wednesday. It's a little bit confusing. But I will definitely see a majority of them on Tuesday for our senior trip, which I'm really excited about. But on the way home today, enough about my kids, which I love to death. But today I wound up finishing That Night by Amy Giles, and I would wind up giving this book like 3.5 stars. I actually thought it tackled grief and the after effects of a school shooting in a really interesting way. The one thing I liked about this book is that it really focused on the survivors of this tragedy. And I like that it was set in New York because I live in New York. It takes place in Queens, which is where I currently work. And I just liked how it really focused on those characters. You never saw the incident, or that you never saw that night. You just kind of heard about it, which I thought was really interesting. And I liked how this book tackled a bunch of different types of grief. The romance was actually really, really sweet, and I liked the way that Jess was always writing to her best friend throughout the whole story, even though she never really had a presence in the story. That was kind of an interesting device, kind of almost acted like a diary. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I would definitely read more by this author in the future. And then on the train ride home, I just started Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. I literally just placed a book outlet order and ordered the rest of the books in the series. Reagan from Peruse Projects adores these books, like loves them to death. And I literally just picked it up. I'm about 18 pages into the first book, so I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't know anything about it. But so far, I'm intrigued. So if I wound up making a lot more progress, I'll definitely update you guys, and I'll talk to you guys later for another update. Bye. Hi guys, Lori here. I'm here actually to close out this reading log because I realize it's been going for a couple of weeks. It's been going since after I got back from BEA and right after my show closed, which has been about a month. So yeah, it's time to wrap up this reading vlog. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I'm really enjoying Keeper of the Lost Cities. This is such a fast-paced story. I'm loving the character of Sophie. I'm loving the worlds that we're being exposed to. I'm already about 200 pages in, and I really hope to tackle much more of this tonight. This font in this book is like really big, so it's easy to like plow through, but I'm really invested. So I will see you guys next for another reading vlog. Bye.